wanna see my weapon? I want you. It's pretty big. Alright then.
Long,
Hello, my fellow tarnished. Today I want to talk about a certain weapon. A weapon that on the surface may look pretty plain, nothing crazy about it, no ultra powerful flashy Ash of War, and just, solid damage, but it's not gonna set the world on fire. However, there is one factor that every weapon shares, and that is the length of it, the reach, how far away you can successfully murder stab from. And a lot of the time, if you have the longer weapon, you're going to find it much easier to do two things. Trade with an enemy without actually getting hit yourself in a PvP situation, or against bosses and the like, safely hit them while being completely out of reach of their attacks, and generally make life much easier for yourself. But the question is, which then is the literal longest reaching weapon in the entire game? Well, fortunately we don't have to look far because, well, the weapon in question literally tells us that it is that, and it is that. This is the Pike. A strength dex, though primarily strength weapon. It is a spear, and whoa, is it one of the most fun weapons in the entire game, simply because of how wonderfully it combos with Ashes of War that gain more and more benefit the longer your weapon is. For example...
Get out! Get out! Okay, but on my way, I'm gonna be doing this. If you get hit, it's your own fault.
Not that this is incredibly effective, but it is wonderfully fun. You can't even see the end of the weapon on the screen. But then what are the best Ash of War choices that actually make this weapon ridiculously both fun and powerful? Well, firstly, how about we go over where to get this weapon? It's in Stormvale Castle. Near the lift is the closest site of grace, and it's essentially just on a corpse in the middle of the courtyard filled with soldiers and battlements and defenses, so you can just run and grab it fairly easily. A fairly early on weapon. Well, a couple good options are Piercing Fang, which gives you a massively reaching, powerful thrusting attack, but it's a little bit one note. You can also go the Bleed route with Blood Tax, which really takes advantage of the length with a load of massively reaching powerful jabs that do massive blood loss. But I have two that I think truly are the best, and honestly they're two of the best Ashes of War in general in the entire game, but comboed with this weapon length become particularly impressive. The first one then is going to be Sword Dance. Or I guess, in this case, Pike Dance. This comes out incredibly quickly. Two twirling, circle, arcing slashes that get massive forward momentum, and of course, because of the reach of the weapon, it's so easy to catch people out with this. But more than that and the solid damage it deals, there is a follow-up attack that you can add to it, which you can also slightly delay the timing of to mess with people in PvP with some mind games. The full combo is incredibly cheap, spammable, and potent, and it really works ridiculously well with this weapon. It's an incredibly good Ash of War, and in this situation, heartily recommended. The other one then is a bit more of a fiery option. Flaming Strike. A very cheap, quick arcing blast of fire thrown from your hand that can then be followed up with a massive sweeping strike that then enflames the weapon for even more damage. When you've got that flame on, combine it with a very common low requirement buff like Flame Grant Me Strength, a basic talisman setup, a little bit defensive too for PvP, just a bit of Shadow of Alexander to make the ashes pop and everything. It's nothing crazy, but you get incredibly solid AR on both hands that do really respectable, massively reaching, incredibly good poking damage. And it should be noted, the actual moveset of Power Stance using spears like this is fantastic. The air jump double stab is great. The running, sprinting, long-reaching double stab is your bread and butter in PvP and is just seriously obnoxious to deal with. It's just so easy to get damage onto people before they can get damage on you, simply because you can press the attack button so comfortably earlier than they can. It's full of versatility and really does get the job done. It's surprising just how far this can clip people. Flaming Strike, by the way, is gotten from just to the side of Castle Redmane in Caelid, across the impassable Great Bridge, round to the right of the castle, across the rocks, and it's on a beetle in the little area before you climb up and breach onto the walls. So not only is the quick burst of flame incredibly useful, but because the weapon is so long, the sweep follow-up is very, very good at catching people and applying huge amounts of damage. And because we are doing Flame Grant Me Strength, we've got a Fire Scorpion on, you really do amp that fire aspect of the weapon, and it takes on a surprising amount of damage from a decent enough scaling that comes with the pike itself. It's just really, really cool. I absolutely adore power stancing this weapon in PvP. Obviously, against bosses and the like, it does fine. It's got solid damage, it's got that solid reach, it's an incredibly nice way to play through the game that is definitely potently powerful, but not completely cheesy, melting, completely trivializes everything, which I think is a really nice middle spot for, you know, having actual decent amounts of fun. But of course, PvP is where this really shines. It really is threatening, and double power stance spears get seen a fair amount for a reason. These just really take it to the extreme degree because they are the longest ones, by far and away the longest ones. And that's kind of really it for today. I just genuinely wanted to come here and be like, hey, if you've got the pike and not used it, probably give it a look. If you've not seen the pike, again, probably give it a look. There is a lot of fun to be had combining really acrobatic Ashes of War with the longest reaching weapon in the game that makes certain PvE situations and basically all PvP situations not only fantastically fun, but also incredibly easier thanks to just how safe you can play with this weapon because you have the extra length to trade incredibly effectively. I hope it was eye-opening, and I would love to know any of your guys' ideas for good little Ashes combination with this. I am very tempted to do a bleedy kind of build, as I showed with the blood tax. It's really satisfying, and although it's not the best Ash of War, it is really good on a long thrusting weapon like this, so that's always worth a look in, and let's be honest, bleed anything is fantastically powerful. But yes, go forth, grab your pike, and enjoy yourself slaughtering through all before, well, anything can actually get before you. That's kind of the whole point here. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more, hit the bell so you don't miss little tips, tricks, guides, builds, funny bits, and all that good stuff. Until we do meet again, consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below. A goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.